Our guest now is Jurgen Klopp, the manager of Premier League leading Liverpool, which restarts its league campaign on June 21st against crosstown rival Everton. Jurgen, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Welcome. It's a pleasure.
It's the first time I've seen you since October. A lot has happened since then. It's been a difficult 3 months around the world with the virus. How are you doing? How is your family doing?
Yeah, it was difficult indeed. It is difficult still. Family-wise, we are good. We came through this period so far. Locked down with my missus for I think 13 weeks. Still happily together. So it was pretty. We didn't need a test, but if it would have been a test, we passed it brilliantly. So that's good. It's just a strange moment, and I hope in I don't know when, months, years, and we will look back and then we can all say we were part of this and we did it. So we survived, not only really literally, but as a society as well. That will be really important, and so that's so far it's okay. It's okay. It's different. Everything is different, but it's okay. And as human beings, we had to get used to a lot of things in the past, not so much this generation, but it's a proper test for this generation now. And I think so far we did okay.
The other big global news story is Black Lives Matter. The protests against police brutality toward Black Americans, Black citizens around the world. What have your thoughts been seeing these protests, not just in America, but globally?
So first and foremost, I have to say the biggest disappointment for me is really that we still have to talk about these kind of things, about racism, any kind of racism. That's what I'm really disappointed about. And when you work in football, as a kid, maybe not so much in the area I came from, but it's been from a youth age on. It was completely normal that different races play in one team, and we never ever 1 second judged that person. Sorry, because of whatever, where he came from. It was all about, is he a good player? Is he not a good player? Is he a nice guy? Is he not a nice guy? And you didn't even see the differences, and that's exactly the same. So I'm in this bubble, in this football bubble. It was never ever an issue. But of course, and it's like as a man, you cannot really know how it is to give a baby a birth. So you know it's obviously tough, but you have no real experience. So you try to empathic and feel with your missus or with a specific woman. And that's a little bit for me with racism. It's the same. If you are not in the situation, you talk about it, but you cannot feel it 100%. You understand it, but you cannot feel it. And that's why it's so important that we really open our mouth and speak out about this really important thing. There are obviously two different things, I would say. One is racism, one is the issue with the police in America. So it came up, at least I understood it like this. And another thing, how I understood it, I have a very positive picture about policemen. So if I see a policeman, I smile, I'm happy he's around, because in my understanding, he tries to help me. So that's the thing. And now we have these two things in this moment. It's always important to talk about issues and talk about problems 100%. I have to talk about it in the right manner. So that's it. I would say the majority of the people are not racist. So that's how it is. And the majority of the policemen are brilliant, do a brilliant job and all that stuff. So that's, as long as we see that, we can really go for it. And now we have the next problem. We have the COVID crisis, and everybody was locked down at home. And now we go in the streets and fight for this. So I don't know 100% what is right, what is wrong. I understand that it's important to go there. My sons were there, did it in Berlin. I didn't tell them stay at home or whatever. That's 100%. We are all adults and do things like this. But we have to be sensible in these moments as well. We cannot, even in a situation like this, we cannot behave like before or after, because this is a special situation. And all the things we did in the last few months, we did to save lives. So, and we still have to do that. We still have to do that. It's not over yet. I understand that people want to speak out, and they have to, and it's very important. And each thing we do, each message we can have on a shirt, each thing really we can do is important. But don't forget how the times are at this moment.
So many of us have missed football. You have said before that the most important things in life, in a journey, are the little things along the way. What are some of the little things about football that you love, that you have missed so much over the last 3 months?
Well, for me as a manager, it's easy to say because I miss the boys a lot. I miss the daily contact. I miss the daily the training, going out there and having these unbelievable skilled boys around and watch them, watch what they are doing or help them with improving and stuff like this. That was what I missed most. But and what I missed a lot as well is being part of this very, very special event, which each Premier League game is. So that you go there, it's like the whole week is like it comes to the point where we're all in the stadium, at least all the Liverpool supporters or supporters of other clubs, and celebrate the event. So with a good performance, with a good atmosphere, and the best way with a brilliant performance and a sensational atmosphere. And I miss that as well. I miss the atmosphere in the stadium 100%. I will miss it for a little bit longer, but that's how our life is again. So if you constantly worry about the things you can't have, you never can be a happy person. So in this moment, we have to accept it's not possible. So, and as long as it's like this, you have a specific situation, get used to it, use it, and make the best of it. That's the plan. But I miss so many things about my job. I had no clue about that I will miss them because I never had, had never such a long time off. Yes, in my little break between Dortmund and Liverpool, but that was real holiday. It was over after I felt like, I don't know how to say it, but like when you fall asleep for a half an hour and you think it was only a second, that was how my holiday was then. And now it was obviously completely different. And nobody knew in the beginning, at least, if we will start at all and with the season or with football again. And so that was really strange. So I missed so many things, and I'm really happy that I have got a few of these things back.
Liverpool needs just 6 points to win the club's first league title in 30 years. The title could come as soon as your next game, June 21st. What would it mean to you personally to bring a league title to a Liverpool fan base that has gone so many years wanting to get back to the top of England?
It would mean absolutely everything to me, and my English is still not good enough to express exactly what I would feel if it happens. But I'm pretty good in waiting for the moment and feel it then, because the main difference now league-wise is around about 3 months ago we won against Bournemouth. I think on the Saturday. On a Sunday, I think City lost. There was a moment when we were 25 points ahead. I didn't think for a second, what will I do when we party? Where will I be? Where will be the parade? Stuff like this. I didn't think it for a second. My boys didn't think it for a second. We just thought about, okay, we have to play obviously a Champions League game, which we lost. But and a few days later, then we would have had the derby against Everton, which is a game you never can take for granted that you will win it. So that was the only. And now in these 3 months, when I had an interview, everybody in the beginning there was the nil and void thing, like in the atmosphere, people started talking about nil and void in the season, and that was really harsh for me, to be honest. But then when it was clear that will not happen, then all the people asked me pretty much, what will you do when? What will you feel when? And stuff like this. And so I had to answer somehow, even without having any idea how will I feel, how will it be. I know from the past it would mean everything to me. It was a target from the first day when I stepped in the door of Liverpool FC. It was always clear that that's the order the people gave me, the owners gave me, and all that stuff. Nobody said to me when it has to be, but it was always we need to get as close as possible. And when you are close, you can make it. And that's the situation we are in now. We are close, but we didn't make it yet. But we have a really good chance to do it, and we are not worried about anything else. We just want to wait for the moment when it then finally happens, and then react in the appropriate way. Whatever will be allowed, whatever people will tell us, but it will be a massive day in my life if it happens, 100%, and a nice one for all the Liverpool fans which are younger than 30. and for the others, a very nice one as well.
So how does the phrase "you'll never walk alone" apply to a socially distanced world these days, whether it's playing in stadiums without fans or potentially not being able to have a victory parade with your fans for a bit? Can you still say you'll never walk alone in these times?
Oh, 100% you can say it, and it's even more important. The thing is that when you walk, you usually don't walk like arm in arm, maybe with your missus, with your girlfriend, whatever, but all the rest are most of the time far enough. The distance is enough, I would say, especially when you walk fast, but that's not the thing, you know that. It's an idea, it's an anthem, it's a feeling, and especially in these moments, you need the support of all the other people, and that obviously you know that better than I do. That is what it's the meaning of it, that you are never alone. And I hope we showed that in a lot of moments during the crisis, that we don't let anybody down. If you need our help, you get our help as much as we are able to help. And the boys did brilliantly in the lockdown, and what they did for the community and stuff like that. It was really big, and I'm really proud of what the boys did, what the club did, and we all had to learn to deal with the situation. It's nobody. Usually, when you are 53 like me, you experience a lot of things already. Means that you really you because life is not that surprising. So always the same problems come up again when you're 20, when you're 30, when you're 40, pretty much. And I had all these problems. So I have kind of a solution or a little advice for my boys. But in this case, about this, I didn't know anything, like anybody, like all the other people as well. So that was really special, to be honest. Was new for me as well, and interesting. I don't think anybody needed it, but now we have it, and now we should learn from it. That's the only thing I can say.
I'm not sure if you saw it, but there was a good story in an American newspaper, the Wall Street Journal, about famous American coaches, including Steve Kerr of the Golden State Warriors, who said they have tremendous admiration for you and what you do. And I'm wondering, are there any coaches in American sports that you admire and have had any interaction with?
No interaction. Admiring 100%. Steve Kerr is a good example. It's a good example. And Golden State Warriors, we must be really. I love basketball. I love sports. I don't understand baseball, so I would admire a baseball manager or coach 100%. If I would understand the game only a little bit, I have no clue about the game. That's how it is with some other games in America. Could I say a lot about American football? Not really, but basketball is a game which I'm pretty familiar with, and so I understand it. I know it. I played it. Not really good. What makes it even more admirable? And so that's all good. Yeah, but from distance, I don't know enough about other coaches. I don't know enough. And that's like, we are in a bubble, Europe. So like in USA, if you win in USA, any championship, you are world champion. I like that confidence, to be honest. Yeah, we have to play much more tournaments that we have that chance. But that's completely okay. But it shows you have your special sports, and I don't understand it good enough. But Steve Kerr, 100%. Mr. Jackson, when you saw everybody saw obviously the documentary, Last Dance. So seems to be a good guy and a sensational manager or coach for sure. So yeah, if I would think a bit longer about it, I would find a lot. In football, it's I have a lot of people I admired in the past and in the present as well.
We're winding down here with Jurgen Klopp. Thanks so much for your time today. There is an idea out there that you can keep the same players at the top of the sport for maybe a 3-year cycle, but it's hard to do it longer than that. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but you've had Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mané, Roberto Firmino as your front three at the top of the sport for 3 seasons now together. With Salah's birthday on Monday, all 3 players are going to be 28 years old. How much longer do you think you can keep them together at the top with Liverpool?
Well, I'm not worried about that. It's completely clear. I didn't understand the number, by the way, when you mentioned it. What was the number? What did you say in the beginning of the question?
3 years.
You
Basically,
said,
there's a saying that there's 3-year cycles at the top for a group,
oh, okay, interesting.
and maybe after 3 years you need to get some new players if you want to stay at the very top.
Yeah, you need to mix things. It's all look. If that's a proper uh, result of a proper whatever assessment or something like that, then maybe I should think about it. But there's always the exception, which is what I would say. And the biggest teams in the world were always the exception. Barcelona played together. I don't know how long Xavi, Iniesta, and all these guys played together. They brought in from time to time different players like Thierry Henry, stuff like this. They helped, but they never really settled. Zlatan Ibrahimovic was there, stuff like this. So it was always difficult to do. But it was important for sure. That's how it is for us as well. But in our situation is absolutely different. We get the challenges from inside the squad. So we are not that fixed. Yes, it's difficult. If you want to find a player with the quality of Sadio, Bobby, and Mo, you have to pay a proper price, to be honest. So we have to try to build it internally, to build it up, to become more flexible and stuff like this. Can we play exactly the same football for 4, 5, 6 years? I don't know. I'm not too interested, to be honest, because you always have to adapt to the situation you have. If you have to play different football, we have to play different football. The target stays, we have to be successful. So, and as long as the boys are ready for these kind of changes, for these kind of development, for the next step, I'm not worried at all, to be honest. I'm not worried at all. Especially when you now saw, when we speak about the last dance, if you want. Obviously the main issue was, one of the main issues they had was how to improve the perfect team. And they thought it makes sense that they kick out the manager and they kick out plenty of the players and keep just Michael Jordan. So that's for sure. I would say the history showed, not only in this case, that's not the right way. So maybe sometimes you have to be patient for a year or so and have to adapt to the new situation. But if you are really good in what you're doing, and if you're convinced about the things you are doing, you can be successful again. Staying successful doesn't mean you become champion every year for 15 years in a row and win all competitions. That's, I would say, is nowadays not possible anymore. But if success stays for you to bring your best performance week in, week out on a pitch, and then you accept the rules of life and the game, that there's a post, you can hit it and stuff like this. You can play a perfect play, but you still can hit a post, or the goalie makes a sensational save, then you're on the good side of it and everything will be fine. So, but we are aware of the situation. At some point, we have to make changes, but and we do that constantly, by the way. We change training, we changed a lot of things. And so that's how we try to keep ourselves awake.
Last question for Jurgen Klopp. We've seen in the Bundesliga that players are being told not to hug each other after scoring goals. You are the best known person in the soccer world when it comes to giving hugs to everyone. How are you going to handle not hugging people, and is that even possible for you?
And so I'm now already a few months in the lockdown. The only person I gave a hug was my missus. So that's you can imagine that's for all of us. We all like these kind of things, especially with people we like and we miss it. And if somebody would tell me it's not allowed for the rest of my life, that would be a massive blow, to be honest. But it's not like this. And last night I watched the first game of the Spanish league, Sevilla against Betis. And that was already looked much more natural than it was in Germany like 3-4 weeks ago. I hope that was allowed there, and it's like possible now, but the players had contact. Look, in a proper context, celebrated the goals in a proper way. I'm ready to take each restriction what we have to, and it's not only about hugging, but I don't want to bring anybody in danger or whatever. But in a moment, it's the same thing like for a lot of other things. When it's allowed again, we should do it again. Giving a hug is only an example for a lot of other things we are not allowed to do in the moment. So, and we really should come back to these really nice little things which make life really valuable and worthy. And so I'm pretty positive that there will be a moment when we all can be ourselves again. And that would mean I probably would hug a few people I like. So there are a lot of people out there I like. So a lot of people, they deserve it on top of that, especially in this club. So I'm looking forward to it.
Jurgen Klopp, it is always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Welcome. So I know it was a bit long answers. Sorry, but yeah. I had a flow.